Over the last 20 years working in restaurants, I met a lot of really interesting people. Bourdain called us pirates and misfits, and he couldn't be more right. We really were, I say were, we are a hodgepodge of cultures and backgrounds, and we get to play with food all day, and we get to make a living doing that, and it's pretty damn awesome. This is what Inside the Pressure Cooker is all about. It's about making some new friends and sharing some stories with some old friends. And listen, we all know that life inside a kitchen is not for everyone. We've seen plenty of people come and go that thought they could hack it and they couldn't. It really does take a special someone not only to survive, but to really thrive in an environment of just what feels like complete fucking chaos, but it's pretty damn controlled. And then just the constant pressure and the stupid hours you put in, not to mention it can be a very thankless job. Before you know it, it's all in your blood and it's the only thing you know, and you need more. It's an addiction. This is the bond that all line cooks and chefs share. It's becoming the heartbeat of the kitchen, as cliche as that fucking sounds, but it's in our blood, which means it's fucking pulsing through our veins, and it's what we live for. This is Chad Kelly, and I've been slinging pans for over 25 years. And in that time, I've been fortunate enough to be a part of many successful kitchen teams, many of which I had the privilege of leading. And during those final few years of my career, I found that my passion was not only just in cooking, but it was the people. And it was mentoring the next generation of chefs. There's something special about teaching someone how to cook, and it is probably one of the most fulfilling things there is. It's not about just putting a smile on a guest's face. After a certain time, some of that luster kind of fades a little bit. I mean, it's always kind of special to a degree, especially for going above and beyond and really making something special for someone and just blowing them away. But it's about the people that we're on the line with day in and day out and making a positive impact in their life and helping them to be better people. So on the show today, we talk with Austin Maynard, hailing from the Southern California, LA area.
Separate your mind from your constant grind, and it couldn't seem to really slow down. So I found these things, and music has always been something where I could put my headphones in and I could just I could clear my mind, listen to music, or it's a great outlet for everything. It's just an awesome outlet, and with the painting as well, I picked up. It's a great stress reliever for sure.
We've all been in the situation where at the end of the shift, or just not even at the end of the shift, but when that last ticket is finally out and you just kind of collapse and you're just like, man, what the hell is that? Some people just walk off the line, go grab a cigarette, or just kind of go sit in a corner for a minute. It's like, yeah, I know we need to break down and clean up, but just give me a minute. But we've all had those shifts and we will continue to have them. They're not going to go away. You take the good with the bad. And sometimes those shifts, it doesn't have to be a special occasion or holiday or anything like that. Sometimes they just come out of the blue and you just all kind of look around like, damn. But how do you unwind from that? So, Austin, elevator pitch, 30 seconds or more or less, up to you. Who are you?
I am a hardworking chef, very talented and great person, and easy to get along with. Very, very open. That's. I'm trying to think of something else to to throw in there. But
well, this isn't a dating app, by the way.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's why I was like thinking, like, okay, that sounds kind of like if I were to put a description on getting someone, yeah, yeah. Well, shoot. I'm trying to think of maybe throw
it's
some
all
stuff
good.
together. I get a little froze up on on discussing, yeah, trying to describe myself
I
in
get
a
it,
way.
man.
Yeah.
That's honestly,
Hey,
that's what I got my wife for. Because when it comes to me, I
right.
mean, it's, it, I'm just like, I don't know. Who do you want me to be? You
Hey,
know?
I am who I am. You know,
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm doing what I love. I'm just, you know, just keep on going, you know.
Let's talk
That's
about more about what you love. Cooking, right? And
yes.
being a chef. Like, so how'd you get into this?
Well, I started at like I said, very young age, very early on, in high school. I got the opportunity, um, I want to say my, senior year, I got the opportunity to do an ROP program. Uh, they had a chef come in, and he was professionally trained. He was doing it for 20 years, and he started doing classes for the school district, at the time, and I got the opportunity to do it. I jumped right on it. It was something that I took an interest in a very young age, um, and from there it took off like a rocket. I mean, he if you ever get an opportunity with someone, they take you under your wing, and they show you everything. That's kind of what happened with me, and I was so inspired by, everything that he showed me. I had the opportunity to do catering events with him, after school. There was a few events that I did, and then he did a intern program, which he sent the students out to go and do intern at restaurants for part time, and just I think just getting finding something that you're able to do, um, that you're good at, and that people enjoy what you're doing. It really just took off from there. Then I was able to, um, get my first head chef position at the age of 21. Um,
Wow.
and yeah, it was. I was brought into. It was a small barbecue restaurant. A very very small little place. I was brought in there, just lending a hand, dishwashing, cooking. Then I was, showed what I could do, my skills, and how fast I was able to pick up on things and, keep up with the fast pace. Uh, the owner went ahead and gave me the title, head chef. Um, from there, I felt like, man, this is it. I reached where I wanted to be. Um, like that fast, though. It was just so fast. I was shocked when he told me. And he was an older gentleman, and he was, getting a little bit burned out, constantly running everything, and he put me in charge. It was a small kitchen, probably a staff of four people, and man, it was wild. I was just at that age. I ended up moving. I moved to San Bernardino area, and, I was working in multiple places there. I had my son, so that kind of was like a reality check. Things happen so fast, and just it was yeah, it was just, a lot going on at that time. Then
Sure.
uh, I was only working a few different. I was working part time, two different restaurants, Riverside area and, Colton area. Then I was able to get a sous chef, job at a little Irish pub in Colton, um, and was working there for quite some time.
Well, hey, real quick,
Yeah,
let me back you up a little bit.
yeah,
Um, kind of we're going to go back to that ROP program,
right,
where you mentioned, and for if people don't have this in area, I know California, it's ROP, it's called Regional Occupational Program,
right,
and it's really just about bringing the trades into the schools, and they're actually, I love this, but they're starting to do a lot more of this, especially in my area. I'm in North
Oh,
Dallas,
nice.
and they've actually created. There's a whole building that's part of the school district now that it actually has its own kitchen, and so it's in
Oh,
addition
wow.
to like school, kids can then go there and work and develop some skills there, and which is um, honestly, it back in my time, it was unheard of.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
but so you mentioned like you were excited that it was you found something you love, and as long as you're doing something you love, like
Yeah.
I forget your exact words there, but it was something of that nature, right? Where it was just, but how did you
Yeah.
know at such a young age?
I,
Because I mean, you're
yeah,
so many things you're figuring out at that age, right?
yeah.
Like, how did you
And
know?
yeah, that's the thing. I didn't know what I wanted to do when my last year of high school. I wasn't too sure what I was going to do. My father was in the advertisement business with Inland Empire Weekly at the time, and I kind of was looking at what he did for work, and I didn't see myself as very much upfront people person, and in a lot of ways, I struggled a lot with being shy and all that. But like I was looking at a lot of more creativity kind of. But when I seen that there was a cooking program and they actually had an experienced chef doing this program, I said, I you know what, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna go for it because you know I love food. I was like, yeah, why not? Why not give it a try and see what happens? And that's probably the best decision I've made because it showed me so much potential that I could do and make a career out of it. A few years, I mean, I was able to be where I am today, because of those opportunities. And I actually, honestly, after I did that, and I was working, I went into community college. Chaffey College had a program, brand new program, culinary program, and I went directly right into that after high school as well, and working, all types of different cuisine and showing me techniques. Just really sparked something in me at that time. Just amazing, and then I'm able to take this ability anywhere, and then it goes for all the young starting cooks and chefs out there. If you feel it when you're doing this, you can feel something,
Yeah,
that you feel important, and you also being in a restaurant environment as well, like you get a natural feeling, natural high from the environment itself and the people that you're around. If that's something that you feel, and stick with it and just keep work as hard as you can, just keep going, because I mean, the sky's the limit, sky's the limit with that. You could go anywhere. Yeah.
absolutely. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
once you feel it and you kind of feel that, whether it's that flame or that just kind of curiosity kind of gets piqued, and just make sure that, like they said, be the hardest worker in the room,
Right.
right? And be
Exactly.
a sponge.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And you meet so many different characters. I met so many different characters throughout the years in the kitchens. I mean, I met some just wild, cowboy chefs that are just
Oh, it's a
they're
circus, man.
oh yeah. I mean, but it's such a rush. It's such a rush, and I don't I there is no other feeling like it. I mean, in my way I see it in a lot of ways. Just the environment itself is just great. I get a kick out of it. Uh, but man, what a bunch of characters out there. That's for sure, and I love it.
Right. So, I mean, you got into this, at a pretty young age, right? And you've
Mhm.
been doing this your entire adult life so far. Is there any been a time in your life where you're just kind of like, man, I should have looked at this, or just kind of you ask yourself, like, man, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, there was a point I had a little bit of a downfall period, for about, I took a major break from cooking, like altogether, for about a year and a half. And I was thinking of alternatives, and at the time I had my son, so it was a little bit rough working the long nights and doing that and taking care of him. Um, so I there was that period, and I was thinking, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should stop. Maybe, maybe I should maybe go back to school. Maybe I should do something else to learn another trade. But I was like, I don't know where to start. I have, I'm clueless about what I should do and what's gonna be, wake up, loving what I do and feeling good about myself. Did a very short period. I did a mail route position, and that was, that was like, what am I doing? But it was a very short break from, the restaurant business and everything, back of house. And I did that, and I was like, you know what? No, this isn't me. I can't do this. I'm not gonna do something else. I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep going for what I love, and but there's a lot of doubts. A lot of,
Yeah, it's kind of when life decides to introduce itself to the passion.
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. Kids have an amazing ability to completely change your perspective too.
yeah,
You
oh
know,
yeah,
yeah, and it's when it's just you and you're cooking, and there's no care in the world, and you're just having a great time. And then all
yeah,
of a sudden, something else comes along where you're just like, "Oh, son of a bitch, I'm responsible for that too."
right,
It's
yeah,
like I
exactly,
can't fuck around anymore.
yeah, yeah. I think with the added on responsibilities and stuff, you have, all that in the back of your mind. But when you're doing what you love, and you're looking forward to going to work, and you're excited, and you're making people happy, and they're enjoying what you're doing. I think that's another thing that you get from this, is from all the customers and all the people complimenting, everything that you do, is also another rewarding, feeling.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
there's a lot of sacrifice that's involved, but there's also so much reward, both internal, right? Self fulfilling rewards, right?
right.
I think I talked about this, it's kind of like feeding the soul a little bit. Um,
Yeah,
and we all have to be able to do that because otherwise you end up doing a mail route, just wondering like, what the
right.
fuck am I doing? What, like,
Yeah,
and then now you're lost. You've got no
yeah,
purpose. You've got no soul.
yeah. You
You're
lost it.
I mean, and you're not going to be any happier you know, than you were before, right? And
Exactly.
so, I get it. There's always been times where you're just like, man, what am I going to do? And if for those that, if, when they come across this, it's just like, hey, listen, it's a time, it's a place, it's a phase.
Yeah,
Just you got to weather the storm because the
exactly.
grass is not greener anywhere else because
Right.
you it might pay better, it might be better hours, it might, but it's not going to fulfill you,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
And so you're just going
Yeah.
to be lost at sea at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna, you're gonna wake up not feeling great about yourself, and you basically lost all your passion of what makes you feel good, and what your ability is, and for like all the young guys out there, just, man, if you feel that, and don't lose that, just keep going, just keep hammering away. I mean, I was given so much, from chefs, and given tasks that I didn't want to do, but you got to do what the chef tells you to do. You're gonna do it, and hey, even if it's like the smallest thing or the most ridiculous thing, just do it. Um, yeah, I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, oh yeah, big time.
No, and I mean the other part too is that I tell everybody, especially young people coming into this, is it's not. I mean, showing up is good. Doing everything you're talking about is perfect, right? But don't be scared to go to the chef or the sous or both, and just be like, hey, I want more.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Don't
And, you know,
don't be scared.
challenge me.
Hmm.
Yeah, yes. I mean, once you go and say, "Hey, push me, challenge me. I want more. I want to be able to do this." Well, first thing, they're going to hold you to a higher standard, right? So there's a lot less fuck off that's going to be able to happen. They're going to push you at times, and you know you're probably going to be pissed at them a few times because you're going to be like, "Why did I
Yeah.
ever tell them this?"
Yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah.
but now that they know, it's yeah, you are going to be treated differently, but in a very good
Mm.
way,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
You know,
Yep.
and they're going to give you tasks that you may not understand at that time, but
Hmm.
it's like parenting, right? You
Yeah.
know, the chef's almost like your parent, you know, and you don't understand it at the time, but there's a purpose for everything. You just have to trust and believe in that.
Yeah. 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 That's that exactly. That's a perfect point. You know, and also it always number one. I've always been respectful to all staff in restaurants, front of house, back of house. You show up, you're happy, you're always respectful to everyone. And that also gets you a lot of points. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's been cooks, line cooks that show up and they're just like, ugh, fuck off, fuck off, man. I don't want to listen to your shit. Don't talk to me, and they just bad moods and stuff. And those guys are the ones that are, they're still sitting there chopping vegetables and stuff.
Yeah. You know,
It's true.
the
It's true.
60-year-old prep cook. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's true.
And then, you know, and he's always telling the same story. He's always bitching about the
Hmm.
same things.
Yeah,
And he's always gonna bitch about how nobody loves him. Everybody he's never appreciated.
yeah.
He's,
He's
you know, look at me, I'm still prep cook. And it's like, well,
yeah, yeah. He's sitting there just f you, and just yeah, continue cycle with that. But you know, so he's for sure burned out. He's just burned out, just prep cookies. He lost the passion, I think. Right? He lost it.
yeah. Or maybe he didn't have it. He's just, you know, been
Yeah.
there just punching the clock the whole time and just
Yeah.
because there's plenty of people out there
Oh
that,
yeah.
you know, just the clock punchers that um you know, that some of them can advance just out of straight hard work,
Yeah.
but their heart's not in it.
Right. Oh yeah.
And you know, we've all experienced those people, and it's just,
Yeah.
you know, they'll try to what's the word I'm looking for? You know, I've seen it where they try to get creative, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, I'm doing this," and you can tell because their heart's not in it
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it's
No.
nothing else is there either.
Right. Exactly.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
mean, a
very
lot of the
very true.
corporate guys. Let's jump back into that journey into the Irish pub.
You got it. Yeah. Sounds good.
So the shift that nobody ever talks about,
Hmm.
you know, and for me this was like I was like a Mother's Day brunch,
Oh.
and it was the first one we had, and I think we had been only open for I think maybe a month,
Uh,
and it was like forced on us like, hey, we're opening, and the restaurant was just packed constantly anyway for lunch and dinner because we were
right.
just the newer restaurant, and it was two different colleges were on this in this city, and both of them had graduation weekend the same weekend as Mother's Day.
Ooh.
And the doors opened, the wave hit, it didn't stop.
Oh
And I
shoot.
mean, the first time you're executing a menu, and
Mm.
it was just, man,
I could picture it. I could definitely
it was, I
picture.
mean, it's still kind of painful to talk about because there's at a certain point, there's nothing anybody can do,
Yeah. No,
right? You know,
it's scarring for sure. Yeah.
it's a deep scar,
Oh yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming, you know, the Irish pub in St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. It was my first St. Patrick's Day there. I never did one before. And it was it was a constant, just bombarded. I mean, just it was insane. It was a mess. Servers were taking the food to the wrong tables at one point. Food was they weren't taking the food quick enough. Stuff was getting cold. It was a cluster. I mean, tickets were like lined up. I mean, yeah, it was a cluster. I mean, we had tons of corned beef and cabbage. You know
Sure.
that's the traditional, and I don't know how many of those I did that night. I mean, it was slammed. I mean, completely insane. And they had bagpipes come in and the whole the whole shebang. It was wild. And I did about after that. I did four more St. Patrick's Days, four more because I was there for 4 years, about four or
Okay.
5 years, and
Did
and
they ever get any better?
no, it was all the same, just crazy, just insane. Yeah, just a madhouse, but it's very much what's the word you get a pretty good adrenaline from all that. I mean, you're worked up afterwards. I think afterwards a couple times I was like, give me 2 pitchers of Guinness. I'm fucking I'm gonna stay here. I got off and I downed you know just two things of Guinness. I sat there and I just had someone come and get me. I was like done. I was just yeah.
Yeah. Just I'm gonna sit in this corner, leave me alone.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much what I did, and yeah, it was pretty wild. Pretty good stories there with the four St. Patrick's Days I did there. Yeah, each one was just a madhouse, But that's the whole experience of it. It's just you're there in that moment. You're doing what you're there to do, and you're moving as fast as you can, and you're just swimming. You're just going and going. Man, what fun times.
No, and I mean, I there's so many of those events too that you see them coming up, and you know
Mm,
they're coming, and you know it's not going to be pretty,
right. Oh
and
yeah.
but you're just like, hey man, it is what it is. We're gonna have fun
Mm,
as much as we can,
yeah.
right? Some days are just gonna suck, but at the end of the day, we're gonna smile and laugh about it, and promise that we'll never do this again until next year.
Exactly. Yeah, and just yeah, have your fingers crossed until next year, and just don't count the months leading up to that again. And then it's there. It's- no, that's how it goes. That's the
Yeah.
life, man.
Well, I mean, for me, it was actually, also it was like the holidays
Mm,
after Thanksgiving. It was just like honestly, nobody seemed to be in a good mood until like the middle of January.
that's
Yes,
true. I've seen
I mean,
that.
it took a couple weeks after December, yeah, after New Year's, for people to kind of get through that funk because it wasn't just that it was so much busier, right?
Right.
I mean, busier is good, and so in a chef's perspective, running a busy restaurant is a hell of a lot easier than running a slow one.
Right. Oh yeah.
Just you've got as long as you got the staff and the product, right? But you've planned for it, everything's going and things are going. But the guests are just so much more bitter.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've ran into that. I still run into that. I mean, it's a constant thing.
Yeah. It's like, come on, man. This is the holidays. We're all supposed to be fucking happy here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It's like Chevy Chase. We're gonna be the jolliest bunch of his assholes this than us. you
No,
know?
that's true. It's true, man. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've had oh yeah, so many different just negative customers on certain things. I mean, it's just the way it goes too. You got to look at it like you're always going to run into probably, couple dozen, every year there's going to be something, someone's going to make an uproar about something and say this isn't I want it done like this and I think I also put in the questionnaire as well. There was modifying the tickets, you
Oh
know,
man.
and there's just wild stuff. It's like, just crazy stuff. You get all these modifications, and when a
And then
chef
they bitch it's not good.
yeah, 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 and it's like when a chef does, he sets up his menu. It's all everything that he wants that he's presenting to you. With the ingredients he's putting, what he's doing, and what you're presenting, and it needs to be left alone. Just just that's it.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, so but yeah, that was one of the questionnaires I remember that I put.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I swear to God, I wish people would just leave shit alone.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's true. Very true.
uh, there was a restaurant I was a part of in Dallas. It was in um, kind of high end place in Dallas, and it older clientele.
Mm,
And I always just at one point I was joking about it, but the menu was just I was gonna redo the menu,
mm.
and I was just gonna break it down into a list of ingredients that we had available
Right,
because the
right,
menu didn't fucking matter anymore,
right.
you know.
Exactly.
And I was just like, and some people wanted everything chopped up real fine and stuff. And I was like, you know what? We're gonna open a restaurant. I'm gonna call it the feed bag. You just
Yeah.
pick your ingredients and your sauce. We're gonna fucking put it into the buffalo chopper, chop the shit out of it, throw it into, add some digestive enzymes to let it start working for you. We don't want
Yeah.
you to work too hard here. And
Right.
we're just gonna strap the shit onto your face, man. There you go.
Oh my God. Holy that's a good
Uh,
one. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Yeah.
I don't
Oh
think
my
it would
God.
work very well, but
No, no.
maybe we'll chop everything up and throw it into a wheelbarrow, and instead of spoons and forks, you just get like a little one of those miniature shovels like you get for like your sandcastle kit.
Yeah. That or they're throwing in a wood chipper and just have them on the other end and just opening their mouth and just going directly to them. It's all good.
Oh man.
Oh, that's the way it goes. It's a constant battle, but there is customers that do they do appreciate what the chef is presenting, the menu itself, what they're getting is the experience of what he wants to show them and
Yes.
showcase. And a lot of people out there, I would say, I don't know, I would say probably 80% understand that in some ways. I would say, and then the rest is the ones that can you chew this for me, and can you slice this way, and but that's just the way it goes. But it's good to see
Yeah.
that people are experiencing what all these new chefs are doing, and what they're presenting, and no questions asked.
No, but I appreciate that you bring up the amount of people that actually do
Mm,
enjoy the food, because I know you'll hear people bitching about it, especially me and other people kind of complain about the customers that just massacre everything that we try to do. But that's
right,
actually a very small percentage of the population and the people we deal with.
right.
Um, there's been so many amazing clients and guests and that I've had the joy of cooking for.
Oh yeah,
And it really is. It's just a joy to cook for them, and just because they're so damn appreciative,
yeah.
and they let you know that too, and that just kind of helps kind of fill that bucket a little bit more for you as well.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. And it's great to see that people are so open now. They're open to trying anything that you put in front of them. That's what makes it great too, because I mean they're so appreciative, like you said, and
yeah,
they respect the fact of what you're presenting, what you're doing.
it speaks a lot that when people trust you, right? It's
Yeah,
because they trust you, right? When they try new things, it's because they trust you, and it's everybody starts at a level of trust, and then so chefs working at restaurants, if you're working on a menu, and it's like, dude, people just don't get it. They're not. It's like, no, it's not that people don't get it. Well, actually, it is they don't get it, but you're trying to go too fast, too far, or too
Right.
far, too fast, right? And
Right.
it's like anything. You've got to train the guest on how to eat,
Right.
how to order, as well as how to trust you,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, and that shit takes time.
Oh
It
yeah,
does take time.
it does take time to build that trust as well. When you first open a place or you're presenting a new menu, it is you're always going to get questioned on certain things, but as long as you have the people that are open minded, and that they're open minded to trying new things, that's where you get the trust as well because they're blown away. They try your food, your menu, they're blown away, and they're going to keep coming back. And you're gonna build a relationship with them, and that's the
Yes.
important thing as well. Um, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I mean, yeah, because all of a sudden it's like you're cooking for friends,
Yeah. Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah. No,
Exactly.
that's when you know you've hit it, man.
Yeah.
Um, so music. You mentioned this earlier. You've kind of got a guitar collection up on the wall, and
Yeah.
so I'm also assuming you play,
I
right?
do. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. There's so many artists uh, re- that kind of live in both worlds, the culinary world as well
Yeah.
as the music world. I mean, why do you think that is so? I mean, I don't, right? I appreciate the shit out of music, but I'm not actually a musician by any means.
Right.
Um, shit, I don't even sing in the shower.
Well,
But
there you
like,
go. Hey.
but what do you think that relationship is? That is very artistic on both sides, right?
Yes,
So
100%. Yeah. I would honestly go with the fact of they're able to be creative in that way as well, and cooking and doing that, and then being a musician. It's kind of goes hand in hand in a lot of ways. I mean, maybe not, the food part, but the creativity part. I think so.
So, what do you think came first? The starving musician looking for a job, or the cook and the chef that was looking for another source to express their creativity,
Uh,
or almost like a coping skill to deal with stress as well? I mean, with
yeah,
music, and it's a great outlet as well, right? So,
yeah, and that's the thing too. I can't sit still for too long. I'm so animated. I just like using my hands. For the last 2 years, I've been doing canvas, acrylic art, and then playing the guitar. Yeah, I just love making something, making something out of nothing. But I really got into the painting as well, acrylic art. Really something else. I have it on my Instagram. I've done quite a few canvases as well.
okay. Now, did the music and the acrylic come? Well, obviously, so they came after you started cooking, because you started cooking,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, way early. Um, you know, and was it
yeah.
like you said, you just can't sit still, but was it was it just because you got into those as both an appreciation, or was it more just kind of a
Right.
I don't want to say coping, but kind of
Yeah.
a, because there's so much stress, right? That we all deal with in restaurants. Just
Oh yeah.
the daily grind, the fuck the grind. Like, it's just, I mean, it is just,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you just get hammered. Um, and, so rather than
Right.
going to those couple pitchers of beer after work, after St. Patty's, was it because, is
Yeah,
that where the music and
I
the
would
acrylic came
say
into?
definitely
Or,
music was definitely the first for me. And I just found it where, yeah, you could break away from all the stress and trying new things and seeing if it feels good to you and you're able to get some like relaxation, from doing these hobbies. That's what really helps. Yeah, coping with everything, the stress, and trying to separate your mind from your constant grind and constant being slammed and just it couldn't seem to really slow down. So I found these things, and music has always been something where I could put my headphones in and I could just I could clear my mind, listen to music, or it's a great outlet for everything.
Hmm.
It's just an awesome outlet, and with the painting as well, I picked up. Um, it's a great stress reliever for sure.
All right. So, what do you do with your acrylics? Do you try to sell them, or you just collect
Well,
them, give them away?
I was giving them away. I was doing it for family first, and then my dad's boss, he showed him pictures of the one I did for him, and he ended up buying two, paying for two of my pieces that I did. Um,
Nice.
eh, yeah, I was able to do two pieces for him, and he gave me $200. I didn't really care about the money. I wanted, people to if they enjoy it, hey, more power to them because I just was having so much fun doing it.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
pays for supplies, so why not?
yeah, yeah, and then I said, well, what colors you want? And then this, that, and all right, you got it. I went to town, and so, but other than that, just mostly personal. Was doing it just mostly personal, and
Okay.
it's great, great stress reliever.
And people can see that stuff on your Instagram, you said, right?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I have a few on there.
What's your
Um,
handle?
what's that?
What's your Instagram name, real quick?
Oh,
Just put it out there.
Chef AJ Maynard.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put that in the show notes too, as well, for anyone looking for that as well.
All right, awesome,
Sweet.
sweet, nice.
Got to give you some love there, bud.
Yeah, nice.
So knives. You got you got a
Oh
collection of
man.
knives going on.
Oh yeah. That started at well, I started with like pocket knives. I'm just fascinated with all types of knives. So I started with pocket knives at a very very young age. I was probably got my first pocket knife when I was let's see, like 10 years old. I got a buck 110 with a holster. My grandpa gave it to me. He handed it down to me. From there, I just really started a collection, and then when I started my getting into cooking in high school, I saved up enough money and I got a Hinkles set.
Hmm.
It was my first starting set. I still have them to this day, but I acquired quite a few knives over the years, chef knives, hunting knives. I love collecting.
What's your
Love
favorite one?
I honestly I love my Hinkles. I don't know what it is. I love those. I have my I always can't pronounce it. What it's the German
Gustav.
what yes, yeah, I have a set of those. Yeah, all those. I have a few Japanese steel ones, but I can't remember the name on the top of my head right now. But I probably have like $10,000 worth of knives, and I have a huge box. I mean, a huge box. It has locks on it and everything, and I store them in there. And I have I have all a bunch of cases I carry. I have them in my car. I have everywhere. So just yeah, one of my favorite things to do as well. I love it.
Knives are definitely a chef's best friend, obviously for so many reasons.
Yeah,
Um, where I actually started doing it, where it was almost an excuse to buy a knife,
right.
but it was an excuse where nobody could argue with me about it. My wife, and and every time I'd open a new restaurant, and
Mm,
so I've actually had the good fortune of part of several openings. But I would buy a knife specific to kind of that restaurant and what I was doing.
Right.
It was a completely unique knife in so many ways. And now every time I see that knife, it's related to that restaurant.
Right.
Right. And so,
That's awesome. I like that. I like
yeah.
that.
And I mean, you have, I mean, I've got knives that are over 20 years old as well, that some
Yeah.
of my first knives, and like anything, they're like cast iron. Like you take care of them, they will last you forever. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I hope my kids will take my knives from me one day after I'm fucking dead. But
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I tell my son. I said all this, man. When I go, I hope you appreciate these, and you just keep handing them down, and appreciate it,
yeah,
Yeah.
but no,
Same thing.
each one will have a story to tell. So
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's awesome.
Austin, I really appreciate your time tonight.
No. Yeah.
It's been a
Thank you.
privilege talking to you.
I'm so grateful for you having me come on. I'm so thrilled about it. It was great talking with you. Yeah, definitely stay in touch. I had a great time. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And thank you for listening to this episode of Inside the Pressure Cooker. If you enjoyed this episode and feel like you're able to take something away from it, please go to Apple Podcasts and rate and review us. If you don't use Apple Podcasts, please follow us, as well as share this episode with a friend. This is a publication by Rare Plus Media, hosted and produced by me. From Rare Plus Media and myself, Chad Kelly, thank you for listening. Keep kicking ass.